going on? What's going on? Welcome back, Foodie Gang. Okay, so you are tuned in to Kitchen Talk with Chef Big Bank. Today we are going to be making a 30-minute teriyaki beef and broccoli with rice. So, there we go. Season 4, episode 129. So when I say we have tons of cooking content on here, we sure do. Hit the like button, double tap the screen, subscribe to the channel, share this channel with your friends. Go ahead and get you a membership, join the channel. Okay, so today I have my ingredients here. I have my broccoli. This is frozen broccoli, but you can use fresh broccoli if you want to. Because my broccoli is frozen, it's already kind of soft. I feel like frozen broccoli is softer than fresh broccoli because it's already been blanched. So you got to keep that in mind when you are using a fresh vegetable versus frozen. So then we have our thinly sliced beef eye round, and I have also cut it into cubes, to little strips. Meat is easier to cut when it's frozen, but if you do thaw it, it does take a little bit longer to cut because it's kind of like sliding around. So frozen meat is honestly the way to cut. I need to clean that bowl off, but I'm gonna keep going. We got our broccoli, we got our beef, and then we got our pre-made teriyaki sauce. Teriyaki sauce is very easy to make from scratch. I'm using this kind because I borrowed this from my sister, so now I'm going to use it up. But teriyaki sauce is surprisingly very simple to make. And I wanted to do Mongolian beef, but I don't have any soy sauce. So that was not a possibility. And then I have my onion here. Y'all know I put onions in everything. And then I have some garlic cloves. I only have 3. But if you have more, I love garlic, so I'm always going to say you put extra garlic up in everything. Because I like garlic. But I only have 3 right here. And then we have our rice on in the rice cooker back here. If you guys do not have a rice cooker, I don't know what to tell you. Because honestly, even before I started the whole Kitchen Talk with Chef Big Bank, when I didn't even have a season or episodes. The first video, I was doing a lot of shorts. I was telling y'all to get a rice cooker. So if you don't have one, that's on you. It's trying to be sounding a little bit. Also, if you have the ability to make rice on the stove and you do it well, don't worry about it. I'm talking to the people who are like me, who tend to have boilovers when we're making rice on the stove. And rice on the stove for me is very hard. And when I was in Georgia, I had to make rice on the stove and it was so freaking hard. Let me get my gloves. We're gonna cut up our garlic and our onions, and then we're gonna get to sauteing. Rice is already going. 30 minutes, baby. 30 minutes. Teriyaki beef and broccoli, very easy to make. And really, really good. So we got our gloves here. We're gonna cut up our onion first. I'm gonna do a julienne on the onion. Okay, I had to hone my knife because this knife is getting really dull. In the kitchen, they used to have a guy that would sharpen the knife, and he would come around and make sure all the knives were super, super sharp. They were too sharp in my opinion, honestly. Okay, so there's a knife sharpener where you actually sharpen the knife, and then there's a thing called honing where you kind of bring the blade back to the center. And I'll show y'all what it is. This right here. This is like an, I was told it's called a honer. So then to get your knife sharp, And there's different ways to sharpen your knife. This is like the quick, easy way. If you don't got the whole mechanism, it's like that. And Ed Rizzo, how about you get up out of here? How about you get up out of here? And you know what? The moderator's not here yet because we just started. But do not think that Big Bang gonna come out the kitchen and cut you up out the picture real quick. But anyway, so this is called a honer, and this is what you do to your knife sharp. Now, there's different ways and techniques on how to sharpen your knife. There also is like a whole like knife sharpening tool, and then they have like, it's like this thing, and they gotta put oil on it. I don't know what it's called. But yeah. But it was somebody's job in the kitchen to sharpen his knives. I think it was like a contractor, honestly. Hey, Angela, how you doing? Girl, they up in here talking crazy already. But yeah, we're making 30-minute teriyaki beef and broccoli. You know what, y'all? I got over 900 videos. I have really thick skin. Nothing you say to me is going to stop me from making my cooking videos and educating people. So you can, I done heard it all, y'all. I got thick skin. I'm not going nowhere, bro. So you gonna have to try on somebody else, because I'm not going to get an empty bowl or, for waste, so that you don't have to keep running back and forth to the trash can. Hey Moore, how you doing? But I have thick skin. I'm really not going nowhere. So you guys can say whatever you want to say about me. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna still be here, cooking my food, minding my business. Double tap the screen to support the channel. So I'm not going nowhere. I'm not gonna give up, bro. I've been through all of this. For me to give up now is crazy. Okay, so then we're just gonna chop up or slice up our onion real quick. And I want to keep this kind of like a good size cut, because I don't want it to be too small when I cook. So, or it'll cook down, but I don't want a thin sliced onion, because then I'm gonna have my onions are gonna break down too fast. Okay, and when the rice cooker, it has a warm setting and a cook setting. You guys can't see from that far. My bad, y'all. When it is done cooking, I tend to unplug the rice cooker so that my rice does not overcook. And then I'm making a 30-minute teriyaki beef and broccoli rice. I almost forgot, y'all. Okay, so we got our onions cut. Let me get a little dish for that. Get a little dish for that. Ooh, and these onions got my eyes burning. Okay, so we got the onions cut up. I love me some onions. Hey, True. Yes, y'all, double tap the screen on your way in. We are making 30-minute teriyaki beef and broccoli. If you want to use chicken for this recipe, you can. I like this steak. It was so good, and I made it the other day when I made steak and eggs, and I was like, this would be really good for Mongolian beef, but I don't have any soy sauce. So I already have this pre-made teriyaki sauce, so we're gonna give it a try. Yeah. Oh my god, I just dropped a garlic. That's okay. If something falls, just let it go. Just let it go. Oh, I have some more garlic. I just thought about it. I have another clove. Or another bulb. Let me show y'all. Got another bulb of garlic. I forgot about it. I just didn't want to get into it. I was being a little lazy. You guys know that it's actually cheaper to buy garlic like this, fresh garlic, than it is to buy garlic in a jar. But the jar is more convenient. And that's where they get people at. It's the convenience. Because for some reason, nobody has time to cook these days. Or people don't like to cook. So this garlic is actually cheaper, better for you. Because when you get the jar, you don't know what they put in there to preserve garlic. Because normally when you cut garlic, it gets brown. But jar garlic, if you don't have fresh garlic, I do think jar garlic is the next best thing to use. But if you can get fresh garlic, get fresh garlic. And I know a lot of people don't like cutting it or peeling it. It's a lot of work, I ain't gonna lie. When I was in the kitchen, they used to get like 2 mixing bowls, and then they would shake the garlic in the middle, like in between the 2 bowls. And then when they shake it, it's supposed to help peel it. And then when you're in the kitchen, they buy their garlic already peeled. And then we get the Robo Coupe, and then we cut it up. Let me open this one. Don't get hot. Y'all making me nervous. Hit the like button though. Hit the like button. Yes, the rice cooker is the truth. Sometimes add stock instead of plain water. Ooh, that sounds really good. Oh, you put your garlic in the microwave? Easy peel. Oh, I never heard of that before. I never heard of that technique. You know why? Because when we're in the kitchen, we don't have microwaves. That's probably why I don't know that technique. I used to have this. Well, it's not a friend. It's my brother-in-law. Not my brother-in-law. My stepbrother. Right? He was telling me that the microwaves are so bad because it causes radiation and a bunch of crazy stuff. And it's just like, bro, when you think about it, everything's kind of bad for you. But you can't be on this high horse about bad stuff for you, and then we see you smoking and drinking. Don't make no sense. So now I'm gonna cut my garlic up. Hey Keith, how are you doing? How are you doing? No, I am not making mac and cheese with my 30 minutes teriyaki beef and broccoli, but I have made mac and cheese before on this channel. That don't even go. Okay, so I have a lot of ground turkey. So I was looking up some ideas and recipes for my ground turkey. And there's a couple that I want to do. I saw this turkey taco casserole that sounded freaking delicious. I need a few more ingredients for that. So we're not going to do that one yet. But I want to do that because that sounds really, really good. There was another one. It was turkey Swedish meatballs. And I was like, oh, that sounds good. So we're going to make that tomorrow. And then the taco casserole, that'll probably be later on in the week. Cause I gotta get like cheese, I think, salsa. Okay, so then we're just gonna chop our garlic up. Okay, we got our garlic chopped up over here. And the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna start sauteing our beef and our onions. And like I said, the broccoli is frozen and it's been thawing out for a couple hours now. So I know when I put that broccoli in there, it'll be done quickly. I do not like overcooked vegetables. And people be cooking the hell out of their vegetables. They be all soft and soggy. I do not like that. Like, don't freaking do my vegetables like that. And it's, especially if it's already previously frozen, you don't need to cook the hell out of your broccoli. Like, but some people be cooking it and it be all soft and like soggy. It's so gross. Okay, so we're gonna get all this moved out of the way so we don't blow up. And then we're gonna get our pan out here. Okay, y'all double tap the screen, hit the like button. 30-minute teriyaki beef and broccoli. Rice is already ready to go in the rice cooker. It is done. Now we are going to make this one pot wonder. I love meals like this because they're quick, they're easy. You only really need one pot, or if you have a rice cooker, or you're making it on the stove. Two, if you need a pot and a pan. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, broccoli and cheese is so freaking good. No, I am not Sean. I am not putting broccoli and cheese together. My cousin used to make that, and it was too good. It was so good that it was like, now this is bad for me. But I really do want to make that broccoli and cheese, but I try not to because that's making my vegetable not that great no more. But my cousin used to make that, and it was so good. So I'm gonna turn this up. We're gonna get this hot. I'm gonna throw in the onions first. I'm gonna go in with the onions first because I cut them kind of thick so they can hold up to heat. And then we're gonna put the meat in there, the garlic, some of the seasons, the broccoli, and then yeah, we're gonna be eating, y'all. I know what I'm doing. Okay. So yeah, my cousin used to make that broccoli and cheddar. Oh, it was so good, so good, too good. And you're like, man, why am I eating vegetables? Why am I eating broccoli and cheese? This cannot be that great for me. But I used to love when she would make it. See, you guys be making me hungry when I pull up here to cook because y'all be saying, ooh, you should try this. And it all sounds so freaking good. So, okay, when you are cooking, right, y'all can't really see it, but I have soap and water in here. When you are cooking, it's a good idea to have a sink of soapy water so that as you're cooking, you can be cleaning your dishes as well. So it's a good idea just to have, that's why when I cook, y'all don't never see no dishes. You know why? Before I got here, and this is probably why I'm late too. Before I got here, I put them in there. Or I wash them off, put them in there, and I have hot water. So anything I put in there, I'm going to rinse off, let it soak in the soapy water. And then that's how you clean as you go. Because cleaning is a part of cooking. I did not know this. I did not know that cleaning was a part of cooking until I went to culinary school. And we ended up washing a lot of damn dishes. Cleaning is a part of cooking, so clean as you go. Hey, Alice. Hey, Mary. How are y'all doing? Okay, so we're making 30 minutes teriyaki beef and broccoli with rice. So we got our pan. It's getting hot. I can kind of feel it getting hot. I have a little bit of canola oil in there. Any type of oil that you use is okay. I really wish I had sesame oil. I gotta get my pantry stock back up. I ain't got soy sauce. I don't what the hell? But see, that's why we are doing these budget friendly meals. Yes, double tap the screen. I think there's 40 people in here, 11 likes. What is going on? What is going on? Oh, I hope you feel better, Mary. Okay, so I recently traveled and I was on the road and stuff. And towards the end of my travels and when I got to Vegas, I started to notice that I was a little bit congested and my nose was running. I think it was the AC in Vegas. It was just cold, you know what I'm saying? So now that I'm back in Alaska, I still feel kind of a little bit under the weather. I think that's why I'm so tired. And that's an old school trick, Mary. She said, put a cap of bleach in your water. Okay, I do not personally do that. But my parents were older. They, my dad, when you go by his sink, it used to smell like straight up bleach. That's an older trick. And I have seen people do that. I've seen people put bleach in their water. You know what? I was watching. I'm gonna put. Okay, I always put one in to see if it's hot first. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to get a little bit hotter. But that's an older trick with the bleach. But I've heard of that before. I don't personally do it, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But now this lady I used to watch, I was watching like, y'all know that show My Strange Addiction. I don't know. I be watching random stuff. She was drinking bleach, putting it in her bath water, putting it in her dishes. She was like doing the most. Okay, so now we're gonna put our onions in here. She was doing the most, and she had like an addiction with it. Like, oh, it ain't that serious. How clean do you need to be where you need to drink bleach? What have you done to your body? You know? Okay, we got our onions up in here. I just thought it was kind of crazy. Like, girl, you need to drink bleach? What? What did you put inside your body that's that dirty? Okay, we got our onion up in there smelling good. Yeah, she said, Mary said, laugh aloud. Bleach for real. Yeah, what do you, like, how are you that dirty where you need to drink and bathe in bleach? That's crazy to me. I'm like, what type of purifying are you trying to do? What you got going on? Okay, so we got our onions in here. I'm going to throw in the beef. Or put it in the beef. I could be saying throw, but y'all know what I mean. And the beef is going to cook quickly. Okay, I'm going to put a little more oil in there. A little bit more oil in there. Y'all ever seen the restaurants where they having all the woks and the chefs be in there getting down on the stir fry? Okay. Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. A little bit of seasoning. A little bit of seasoning on the onions. I should have my tongs all the time. But you ever seen them restaurants where they be up in there doing the stir fry? They be doing it. It's like, no, I can't do all that high heat. Okay, then we're going to put our garlic in there. I'm going to put some ginger, some pepper flakes. And then I have not had this particular brand of sauce before. So I really want to see how this is tasting before I do it. Oh, PF James. You know what? When I do the Mongolian beef, I was going to do a copycat PF James Mongolian beef, and I still am going to, but I gotta wait because I don't have the soy sauce to make the Mongolian beef. But I'm gonna do that because I remember, I don't know why this ain't frying enough. Okay, I got some enough. When I was in, I think I was in Vegas, and I was asking you guys what you guys want to see more on the channel. I think it was Angela one said that she wanted to see more copycat recipes. And you know what? I have never done one of those. The garlic in here. I have never done a copycat recipe. Or I've never done it on live. Because I've done it before, but I never recorded it or anything like that. We're going to put a little bit of ginger in there. All right, y'all. Double tap the screen, hit the like button. We're making 30 minutes teriyaki beef and broccoli with rice. Honestly, the rice in this particular recipe is what honestly is going to take the most time. This is all pretty quick. You know, you got one pot, you're putting everything in there. And what some people even do is they even coat their meat in cornstarch to make the sauce thicker. I didn't do that because I don't know what this is gonna be like, or there's probably already cornstarch in here. If I was making a sauce from scratch, I would have done that. But so you know, that's the difference. And we're gonna throw in our put in our broccoli in a little bit. Alright, ooh, it's smelling good. You can smell that ginger. I wasn't planning on adding any salt or pepper in here until I taste the sauce. But if we need to, we have it right here. We can always do that. If you want a little bit of heat, you can put some pepper flakes in there too. I'm just gonna put a little bit. Y'all know I don't do spice like that. Just a little bit. And then we're gonna go in with that broccoli. Okay, we're gonna go in with the broccoli. Now it's hot and now it's sizzling. I be impatient when I cook. Okay, so we got that. And then pretty soon here we're gonna hit with the sauce. We're gonna hit it with the sauce. And like I said, this broccoli is previously frozen. So I know that if I heat it up, it'll already get soft. If I had fresh broccoli, I would have cooked the broccoli separately to make sure it's soft. And thank you so much, Mary. Hope you subscribe to the channel and come on back. We are always cooking. Probably too much. But I like cooking, and you know, there might be somebody out there who doesn't know how to make some of this stuff, and you know. Okay, I'm gonna open this. And Angela said, "Be well, Mary." Okay, we're gonna open the sauce. Oh no! Looney Tunes, I did not blanch the broccoli because frozen broccoli is already blanched. If I would have had fresh broccoli, I would have blanched it. But when they freeze your stuff, they already blanch it. So you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's why when people be cooking the hell out of frozen veggies, I don't get it. Woo! Okay. We're going in with the sauce. Let's see what they got going on here with the sauce. Let's see what it's hitting for. Let's see what it's tasting like. If you don't have, like I said, Mongolian sauce, teriyaki sauce, all of them are easy as hell to make. They're very, very easy. I was actually surprised when I'm turning this down a little bit. I was actually surprised when I went to culinary school to see how easy some of this stuff was to make. And the only reason we buy it is really out of convenience. But a lot of this stuff is really, really easy. Okay, so let's see what this is looking like. Let me get a fork. So, 30-minute teriyaki beef and broccoli. see what this looking like. See what it's hitting for. Oh yeah. We doing something there. Okay? Okay. This right here. It's good. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Okay. Now I see that this sauce is a little thin. I wish I would have done the cornstarch. If you don't do the cornstarch, that's okay. If you do it, that's fine too. But I wish I would have done the cornstarch. The sauce looked thicker in the jar, but I see it was just full, so it couldn't really shake. That's okay though. It's still gonna be a great meal. But I'm one of those chefs where I'm honest. There's no reason to lie. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because like like when you cook something, you're like, oh, I wish I would have done this, or this is what I would do differently next time. When you're cooking at home, you should always be learning something. Whether that's, oh, I can do this, oh, I can, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should always be like in your mind self-critiquing about what you can do better next time. You can still add, but you know what, Truth? You're right. I can still add some cornstarch. You're right about that. I'm gonna add some. But you should always be self-critiquing when you're cooking. There's nothing wrong with that. Say, oh, I could have did this. But you're right. I can still add some. Let me get my get a little bit of this. Get some water. Okay, when you do add cornstarch, keep in mind that it's gonna make your sauce look whiter. So just keep that in mind. Like, if you add a lot, it's gonna really change the color a lot of your sauce. When you do add cornstarch, you want to bring. Oh, too late, Angela. I already did it. Well, I already got the sauce. She said, over some jasmine rice. Less carbs if you don't. Cornstarch has carbs in it. Cornstarch got carbs in it? What? 7 grams. You're right. You're right, Angela. Dang, I did not know that. Okay. Okay, so if you are adding corn, I'm going to put a little bit of cornstarch in here because we already got it all mixed up. Temper your slurry with some of the liquid from the pan. I did. Hey, Brandon. Okay, when you add cornstarch, you got to bring it to a boil. Only put a little bit in there. Only put a little bit in there. Ooh, it's going to be fire, y'all. Teriyaki sauce, carbs, rice, cornstarch. Okay, well, this is going to be a carb-filled meal. I'm doing, do all right with the broccoli. I tried. All right. 30 minutes. Teriyaki beef and broccoli. Raina said, you left me. You left me. How did I leave you? Leave you where? Where did I leave you at, Brandon? You know what? I'm going to need some of y'all to get your own cooking channels. Yeah. Y'all need to get your own cooking channels. Alright, we cooking with Chef Big Bang. Brandon, how did I leave you, Brandon. All right, Looney Tune. Okay, we're gonna turn this off. And we're gonna get a new pair of tongs. We're gonna start plating up. Rand said on the plane, that is so funny. Yeah. Okay. For those of you who are new, I was in the South. Brandon had to leave. I ain't had nowhere to stay. And I had to get back to my apartment here. Okay, I recently went down south. And I was in Georgia. Brandon is in North or South Carolina. Right? But he didn't want me to leave the South. But my home is here for right now. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's the thing. This is where home is for right now. Brandon, I was like, how did I leave you? I was so confused. How I left you. Okay, we're gonna see how this goes. I was like, I left you. What? Alright. Chat, y'all see how she treating me? Look, I ain't do nothing to you. I ain't did nothing but make you some pancakes that you asked for, Brandon. Alright. We got 30 minutes. Teriyaki beef and broccoli. Doesn't that look? I have a little bit of rice in there. I didn't put a ton of rice, but put enough. Doesn't that look delicious, hot, steamy, quick? Like I said, you can make this dish in one pot or one pan and have your little rice on the side. It's cool. It's cool. Let me get cleaned up a little bit here. But there we go, y'all. Ain't nobody teasing you. I'm teasing everybody. Don't be selective. Don't try to make it sound like I'm doing it to you. Let me get a picture before I dig in. Looking so good, my eye is like tearing up. I'm like, this is gonna be so good. Okay, gotta put the flash on. It's gonna really see a little flash up in there. You gonna see a little something. Let's get moved over to the table. I'm gonna show y'all what it tastes like. I did taste a piece of the beef with the sauce. Oh, delicious. Recipe's already down below too. Yep, y'all heard it right. Recipe's already down below. You girl trying to get on top of something. Okay, I'm gonna move y'all over. Okay, turn this fan off. We're gonna sit down and chill, relax, and relax. Woo! Y'all going the wrong way. Where y'all trying to go? Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm shaking the world. Shaking the world. Okay, let's see what this is looking like. Okay. Yes, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all that good stuff. All right. That's what we got going on here. That's what we got going on here. Alright, we finna try it. We finna see what it tastes like. We're gonna say our prayers. We're gonna, you know, thank God for everything. Alright, here we go. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for everything that you have done, providing this food for us and the hands that made it. We just want to thank you for everything. In Jesus' name, pray. Amen. Amen. Now, let me try it. Let's see what we got going on here. I knew when I made this meat for the steak and eggs, it would be perfect for like an Asian dish. This really, really good. It's quick to make. Now look, Angela, I don't do no chopsticks. I ain't got time for all that. I'm eating with a fork. When I go to the restaurant, they're like, bring me a fork, man. I don't even got time for all that. There was a point in my life where I learned for a second, and I was like, you know what? This too much for me. Bring me the fork. Bring me the fork. This is really, really good. I would actually buy that sauce, that teriyaki sauce. I would actually buy that again. But like I said, making teriyaki Mongolian sauce from scratch is very, very... If you have soy sauce, you don't even need to buy pre-made sauces. The reason why I got that sauce because I stole that from my sister. I said, I was looking at her pantry one day. I said, oh, I need that. And then Anna said, going back to Cali tomorrow. Are you driving? Angela be on the go. Okay? Angela be on the go. You remind me of Ava, because like Ava would eat. Like when I was in Georgia, I would be in the Publix, which is the grocery store they have down there. And they have like a sub bar, or like you can get like subs pretty much. Like, you know, those sandwiches like turkey, kind of like Subway, but it was way freaking better. I don't even like comparing them to Subway. Right? So we're doing a video. Ava ate her food and was like, can we go? I'm like, looking like, what? I'm eating my food. See, when I eat, I don't mind sitting there for a second. Like, I don't like to just immediately start rushing. But sometimes people eat and gotta go. Angela, was that you, Angela? You said Philly next week? But let me pull up the comments on my phone. Turn this off. Yeah, like I've always eaten slow, but then having surgery and like the right side of my face is not working, I really be eating slow now. But I be determined. I eat slow, but ain't nothing wrong taking your time over a meal. Yes, 30-minute teriyaki, beef and broccoli, double tap the screen. Hit the like button. I got a little rice right here. Y'all didn't even tell me. Okay, Angela said Philly next week. Are you driving to Philly or are you flying? Look, you know what you gotta do if you want me to come back out there? You gotta send for me, Brandon. You gotta send for me. I'm gonna come back to the South one day, but next time I travel, I'm gonna do what El Chipa does. Where she like goes somewhere for like a couple days. Cheaper that way. And it says she may drive. Now that's a road trip. I'm too scary for all that. Brandon said, I'm destined. How you know? Brandon said, I'm destined. But you know what I've had to learn? I have had to accept that it's really God's plan. And wherever he's going to put me is where he's going to put me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to learn, like, all this. My signs are crooked. Hold on, y'all. I'm about to readjust. All of it is really not in my hands. I'm just here. You know what I'm saying? So, wherever he puts me, whatever, you know, we'll see. And that may be in the South. I love the South and seeing people that look like me, and it's nice. There are some things I didn't like though. I met some really nice people, and I saw some really stuck up people that were very, very nasty. I'm eating 30-minute teriyaki beef and broccoli with some jasmine rice. Freaking mom. What did y'all eat today? What did y'all eat today? Brandon came with another prayer. He said, Dear Lord, you know these heifers down here can't cook. These folks out here cook macaroni that's soggy, peas that are mush, and chicken that tastes like wood. Usher into us our Savior, 907. Look, I can't look. Y'all don't want to be saved, like Chris Brown said. Wasn't that Chris Brown? They don't want to be saved. Look, I've learned to mind my business. I don't tell nobody what to do, how to do. Look, men, y'all argue with the women. Me, I'm done. Done. And keep saying, where's mine? Down there in the video description. Oh, and y'all make sure y'all check out Ava's Christmas list. And if you would like to, you know, get her a gift for Christmas, you can. We will wrap it, put your name on it, and put it under the tree. And we'll do a live unboxing on Christmas Day. You know, y'all are like family to us. And Ava is always here. She may not be in the video, but she's around. Yes. And Brandon, I never tried those boiled peanuts when I was in the South. Never tried them. He said, bring me a plate. True said, I'm actually South African, but 17 years ago I moved to the UK. God told me 20 years before that I was going abroad. Wow. You know, we got somebody else who lives in the UK. He said, look, God told me I don't belong here. But you know what? When God tells you something, or He puts something on your heart, you just gotta do it. You know. Angel said, "Damn, they should know how to cook there in South Carolina." Look, Brandon, didn't you say you had like 40 girlfriends or something crazy? Ah. Some crazy number. Mm-mm. But you know what? These most men that I meet don't even have time for a relationship. They gotta work. 7:32. I'm in Alaska. What time is it where you're watching from? Most men don't even have time because they gotta work. They doing stuff. They busy. Like from what I could see, and I don't think that they really care about home cooked meals. Like they say that, but they don't care. They want McDonald's, you know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Mmm. Keith, where are you watching from? I thought you already told me that, but I cannot remember. Where are you watching from, Keith? Yeah, but I don't feel like the people is really caring about home cooked meals. I really don't. They just trying to do you know what and get on and get out of here and get to work. My husband lives for home cooked food. Okay. Now, so yeah, like I said, some of y'all was able to find some great people. I'm still looking. Um, Lord God, bring us back 907. Look, Brandon said I'm 38, but Brandon ain't even trying to get married. He just said he wanted to shack up. Ava, come here. He said he wanted to shack up and knock some boots. And then Q said for Virginia, perfect for 907. Nah, Brandon said he don't even want to get married. Brandon said I had 60 plus girlfriends since first grade. How did you date that many people? You might have something wrong with you, Brandon, if you went through all them people. If you went through that many people, you was like on a speed date through life. Okay. She said my husband love a home cooked meal. Mm-hmm. I know that's right. There's plenty of people's husbands who really value that aspect. I'm talking about the single people that I be seeing. They don't care about no damn food. Don't disappear. I only met my husband at 35. Okay. We got hope then. Okay, were you 35 or he was 35? I have a six pack. What do you expect? Randy, what does that mean? You have a six pack. What do you mean by that? You not eating McDonald's because you got a six pack, or you got 60 girlfriends because you got a six pack? Is that what you're trying to say? Oh, Shrew said I was 35. Okay. Somebody told me that they were 45 when they married their partner. And it's like, when you hear all these stories about like people being young and getting married, so then as you get older, you're like, it ain't gonna happen for me then. So it's nice to hear stories, people were older. I think they was asleep. Yes, Kansas. Beef and broccoli, it's like, broccoli is one of my favorite vegetables. Like, for sure. You can also do this with chicken, too. You don't have to have beef. Truth said, I was a single parent, dated horrible men, then met my husband, and he is perfect. Um, that kind of sounds like my story, but I ain't met my husband yet, or my second one, I guess. I married one before. It was terrible. Not in the beginning. I really loved that person, and they loved me, but it just became very, very toxic. But this how I feel. If you already got one husband, you cannot sit up here on the high horse and be like, I need a husband, because I feel like you already got one. Man, you know, there's some people that ain't got one. And then, and Angela said, very nice to hear love stories. And then Brandon said, 9-7, I can't believe you think of me like that. Brandon, what do I think about you? Brandon, tell me what I think about you. Cause you know the words in my head and what I'm thinking. What do I think about you, Brandon? True said, let God seek a man, he'll be perfect. I agree with that. It's gonna be in the right time. You know? It's gonna be in the right time, but all you can do in the meantime is learn how to cook. Subscribe to the channel. So all you can do is get yourself ready so that when you meet that person, you're better in a better position. And you have to learn from your mistakes. When you sit down here and you like it was everybody's fault and you don't take no accountability, that's good. It's gonna be hard for you to learn. Just come back. That's all I want. Brandon, how about this? How about instead of me coming back, I come to you? Yeah. And Brandon, I gotta move though. I can't, cause I've never been to South Carolina. I can't come visit and then we get the U-Haul going. Like I gotta just. I need to go to North Carolina to go visit my grandma. And I know I've been saying that for a long time, and I really am not excited to go to North Carolina. Just because like when I went years and years ago, I had a bad time. I didn't like it. I stayed for too long. I was young, so I had to go where they were driving me around. This time is gonna be a totally different experience. My grandma's name is Hattie. But I didn't like it because of where I was staying in the experience. The next time I go, I'm gonna know what to do because I've been there before. Truth said, God says he gives you the desires of your heart. I yearn for a good man. I met my husband, and we both have the same pain, and we have the same desires. I knew somebody from when I worked at Intel that ended up marrying when they were 35, and I think the girl was like 32, and they started a family, but it's like he wanted a wife and she wanted a husband. So I've heard that before. And so I love North Carolina. See, I gotta go get another experience because I left there very upset. And the problem is, when I go next time, I'm not gonna stay in Salisbury. I'm gonna stay in Charlotte. Truth, how old are you? Let us know. I'm 32. Everybody put your age if you feel comfortable. This rice is hard for me to eat. But yes, I am not going to stay in Salisbury. I'm going to stay in Charlotte. And I'm going to have a better experience. And I'm going to see my grandma. I don't know when. I don't know how. But I'm that's my plan. I really need to go to North Carolina. And when I go, I'll stop by and see you, Brandon. Angela's at 58 in November, 56. Truth's at 56. I have 2 grown sons, eldest 37 and youngest just turned 20. Wow, so you and your husband have been married for like quite some time then, right? Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you for sharing your testimony because I feel like a lot of times we're always hearing the bad stories. Always. Always hear the man beating his wife, the man cheating, the woman cheating, got a baby by somebody. Like, we hear so many horror stories. It's nice to just hear somebody be like, hey, I'm happy. And I don't got all the shenanigans, you know. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, wow. She said, married for 17 years, together for 21 years. That's amazing. Amazing, and it's definitely a blessing, especially in today's world with the way that things are going, you know? And I think it would be cool to have like a little partner in crime, or you know, somebody to do stuff with. I think Ava's sleeping. She never came. But we have to be honest. We have to look at the stats. And they said we're not all gonna get a husband. They said we all not gonna get one. The numbers is not on our side, ladies. People don't be acting right. And so some of us are going to be single. And we just have to accept that, roll along with it, live our best single lives. And because some of us ain't, I'm looking at they said the numbers. So, and then Truth said, wait for God. I said, all my single ladies, all my single ladies. But you know what? The wind's blowing. I just want to be healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I say that, I just mean like y'all know about my health and my situation. I just want to make sure that I'm here tomorrow, here down the line. Angela said most don't want to live like I do. That's a good question, y'all. Angela, you do the van life. If you did meet a man and he was like, I want you to sit up in this house, I want you to stay put in the same city, is that a compromise you willing to take? I think there has to be some type of compromise, but it just depends on how much. You don't want somebody to be like, I want a whole different person, but I want it to be you. That's too much. I used to date this dude who wanted me to like wear wigs and heels. I'm just like, you want a whole nother woman, cause I don't do none of this. And I tried it. I said, this ain't me. I don't need to be sitting around, can't barely walk, got a whole wig on my head. Like I just felt very uncomfortable. And it's like that's too much compromising. Like I get you like to wear or you want your woman to wear this stuff, but that's not who I am. So then you're doing too much because that's a lot to ask my dude to wear heels, to wear wigs. Like you want one of them made up people. That ain't me. And I live in Alaska. It's cold as hell out here. Where am I really wearing these heels to? And at the time I was living in Portland, but it's like, bro. And now I know why. I figured out why years later I can't wear heels. I don't have good balance. That was why. Because I have a tumor, a brain tumor. And then Truth said, nothing wrong with that, Angela. And they make you feel like if your life is different, then there's something wrong with you. And that's just not the case. Or if you are different, I'm going to wear wigs. I'm not going to wear heels. And when you want somebody to change their outer appearance, and okay, now losing a little bit of weight, cool. But you're asking me to put something on and wear all this stuff that really just ain't me. You know? And just, that person ended up being very controlling. Like, bro, why don't you... Some of y'all need to go in the lab and build somebody. They be like, I want a girl with a big old booty that don't talk. Y'all need to go in the lab and build people. Because the stuff some of these people be asking for be crazy. And maybe it's me. I don't know, but do y'all experience that? Angela said, right, yeah, y'all need to go in the lab and build some people. Because you guys are asking for the impossible. Mm-hmm. Look, I know God is real. I don't never doubt that. I know it. I witnessed my own miracle. I lived through it. I'm, yeah. I agree with you 110%. I don't even doubt it. When people say this, how you know God's real? Look, I don't even need to be talking to you. Because I'm not the person that's going to sit here and have a debate with you. There are people who are willing to do that. I'm not one of them. I don't have the energy. Now I don't got the time. I know God is real. And I never question that. You know, when you live through something where you could have lost your life and you make it out on the other side and you're okay, that is not just happening for no reason. You know what I'm saying? I believe it's because we have a higher power, you know, higher being, you know. So, but everybody's gonna believe what they want to believe. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so we made breakfast this morning. I'm trying to remember, what did we make? And like it just happened, and I already can't remember. But we made breakfast this morning, so check out that live stream. And then we're back with dinner. Um, I did a couple of Uber Eats orders. You know, I'm trying to drive a little bit more each day, and I was very proud of myself. Like, you know, so I did just my second live stream. I did a little bit of Uber Eats, but after this, you guys, I feel like mentally and as far as my brain, I feel like I have had enough stimulation for the day. But um yeah, I'm very proud of myself for not giving up and continuing to go on. It's definitely hard, and I know that you guys probably feel that way too. Like some days you want to give up, or you be like, "Why me?" And those are all normal, natural feelings. You know, to at least have that thought in your mind. And I don't know why the world acts too good. I don't know why everybody acts too good, but that's a normal thought, or like not a normal, but everyone gets that thought, or something happens in their life, and they're like, "Why me?" You know, but don't give up. Sometimes, like Truth said, as far as God is concerned, the answer comes later on, and you just have to keep the faith and keep believing in God, and just knowing that with Him all things are possible. And I think that's the most frustrating thing, is not having the answer right then and there. It is so infuriating. But sometimes we don't, you know? We don't. True sad. I grew up in faith. My grandmother was our prayer warrior. Um, One day as an adult, my life fell completely apart. I sat under a tree and cried to God. If He was real, to save me, I felt Him show up. And I remember when I was on social media. I think I'm probably on Facebook. I saw this post that said, "You are not grown until you lost it all and had to get it back." And that quote has stayed with me for years and years, because I think it's so true. It's easy to get stuff and to get your life situated and get set up, and you know you going about your way. But what happens when it all gets taken away? When ain't no money to pay the bills, you get evicted, you lose your house, or you got to be homeless. Until you have to get all that stuff back, Dippo said you're not grown. And I said, "Amen, amen." And you know, it at the time you be upset, but it builds your character, builds your resilience. When you lose it and have to get everything back, that's when you really find out how strong you are, and that's when you really a test of your faith. You know, as far as God, that's when you be on the floor crying, calling out to God. You be like, "God, help me." When you meet God, He strips you, then builds you up so strong. I believe that, cause when I was in my 20s, I had just had Ava. I was married at the time, and then one day came home, everything was just different, and I feel like everything was stripped away from me. The comfortable life that I had, the support, the provider, everything was just taken. And I was just looking around like, damn. It's crazy because like you can lose everything in a second. right? And it'll take you so long to build it up. And one day you look and it's just different. So I really like during that time, I was like, damn. And Ava at the time was like, I think she was 11 months, bro. And I'm like, how am I a new mom? Now, it was just a crazy experience. But now, looking back on that time period in my life, it really built up resilience. That's why you guys see me on here all the time. Even after I've had brain surgery, even after everything I've been through, I'm still going. Because the things that I have gone through, I feel like God is preparing me for something bigger. You know, because sometimes you got to think that way because you feel like this some bullshit. Hey, Ray, how are you doing? Mm-hmm. I was looking around like, damn, I got a new baby. And at the time, my mom was not around. She passed when I was 17. So I think at the time I had Ava, I think I was 22 or 23. I was like, damn, I got a new baby. I gotta find somewhere else to live. Um, and it was just a crazy time. And I gotta get a divorce. Truth said, bless you. I believe that is a time God wants you to rely on Him. He will remove everything to build a relationship with Him. Yes. All right, Ray. So have a blessed evening. And then I learned, if I ever do get married again, I want. I feel like there could be more prayer in my marriage, and I feel like we kind of we're not focusing on God, and I feel like the devil snuck in. But that's all my opinion, y'all. You tell people that like you crazy, but to my people that are spiritual, you get what you guys understand what I'm talking about when the devil creeps in and takes a hold. So I would like there to be more prayer in my next relationship, marriage, or just more prayer. Because when you're not praying together, you lose one person to the devil. I mean, terrible. The truth said, when I was diagnosed, I could not believe it. But in my isolation, God showed me I needed only Him, and that's what I had to learn too. Like, I feel like after my surgery in July this year, I was looking to people to help me, after I got home and stuff. But I was like, you know what? I don't need people. I need to pray and be talking to God. Because God's going to send you the right people to be able to help you at the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I had to learn to not put my trust in people, but put my trust in God. And that's what I do even now. Oh, that's all I really can do. I pray and I pray and I pray. Cause you can't trust people like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Or you can't believe in people more than you believe in God. And let's be real here, bro. In the times that we're living in, I do feel like people put a lot of trust in other people more than they do God sometimes. And that's where things kind of get tricky. So on my other YouTube channel, Time for Tea, make sure y'all subscribe to it. I know you guys heard about the peace in the Middle East and all of that that's going on, and how it's tied to the Bible. So go check out that video. I just put it out yesterday, and it's a good video, kind of summing up what's going on in the Middle East, what people are saying about it from all different aspects. You know, we have the Christians, the news anchors about what they think. Then we heard from the president, and so I just want to know what you guys think about the peace in the Middle East. And it's a situation that we're gonna keep having to watch. You know what I'm saying? As far as the Middle East. Um True said, bless you. I believe that is the time God. Oh, I think I already read that one. Oh, I already read that one. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm behind in the chat. Ooh, and then True said, don't marry an unbeliever. An unbeliever. It is hard. My husband is not a Christian and he allows me to be Christian. And he is amazing, but it can be a battle. And the person I was with was a believer, but they were dibbling and dabbing and playing with the devil. You either gotta be 2 feet in to either side. You need to be on demon time or you need to be over here believing. You can't play both sides of the field, you know? But I think that it is true, and a lot of people say they want a God-fearing man. Hey, Arnell. Vivian said yes. Arnell said, what do you think about what's going on in Chicago? Okay. There's quite a bit of things going on in Chicago. I may have missed it. The last thing I heard or I saw was that there was a lot of protests and riots at the Broadview Ice Detention Center. And it sounds like it's going down. And I made a short video on that. This woman tried to stand in front of the ICE vehicle while they were leaving. And they was like, bitch, get up out of here. And they threw her down to the ground like she was a rag doll. But are you talking about the ICE protest and the Broadview, I think it's called Broadview Detention Center, or did something new happen? Mayor Brandon Johnson is a joke. I don't even know how he got into office. I don't know what was going on. I'm confused about that. And didn't a federal judge ban ICE or... No, it wasn't ICE. It was the National Guard. They wanted to send the National Guard to Chicago. Chicago's governor and some of the mayors and, you know, the people in politics don't want the National Guard there. They want more money to be able to put more police on the force. My thing is this. Don't nobody in Chicago want to be on the police force. And I don't blame them. Like, why would you want to... The police force is already outnumbered. They don't got no money. I heard when you call them, they don't come. About Trump sending troops to Chicago. I will text you. Okay, I thought Trump was sending the troops to Chicago, and then I thought a judge issued a restraining order for 2 weeks. Was the last I remember. Did something new happen in that whole situation? Hey, Alice, y'all, we made 30-minute teriyaki beef and broccoli with rice. If you want that portion, you gotta scroll back to the beginning. Y'all know how we do. We cook, and then we sit down and we talk. We on the talking portion of this live now. Now, I'm asking Arnell, but I have the phone right here. Let me look it up, because I thought the last thing that happened in Chicago was a restraining order. It was some type of order, or the judge stopped it. But Okay, this one says, as of mid-October 2025, 500 National Guard troops are stationed near Chicago following the deployment order from President Trump, despite ongoing legal challenges and opposition from state and city officials. A federal appeals court recently issued a mixed ruling blocking the deployment of troops into the city while allowing them to remain under federal control for the time being. Some of the citizens of Chicago were saying that they actually wanted the National Guard there. Y'all ever heard that Chicago flips red? Well, those women, according to them, they want the National Guard there. Now, some of the YNs said, "What the he did?" They said, "What is the National Guard going to do? We got switches." um, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm curious. Okay, so this is how I feel. I know that Trump did the same thing in Washington D.C. This is unprecedented. I cannot say that word. I've never seen this before. As far as the National Guard in cities, on the streets, patrolling the streets, I'm curious to see after the National Guard pulls out, what will the numbers look like? But one thing I will say is that what is going on in Chicago as far as the crime, the killing, it somehow it needs to stop or slow down. A lot of kids seem to be losing their life. But I'm gonna have to do a video on this. So so it sounds like the court order was kind of a mixed signal. And so they sent the National Guard there. I feel like this. I don't remember if the National Guard is getting paid during this government shutdown, but if you want them to go into Chicago and do all this, they should be getting paid. There ain't nothing wrong with that, cat. And yeah, I even said, if you want to do chicken instead of beef, feel free. That's an easy swap. You could even do shrimp. You could do any type of meat you want to do, honestly. Okay, so I don't know how I feel about this. But I feel like this. Don't nobody want to join the police force in Chicago. For what? For what reason? You know you're not gonna make it. You know you're gonna be outnumbered. You know. And I believe the government is still shut down. But you know what I need to ask Google? Do the National Guard still get paid while the government is shut down? Yeah, the government is still shut down though. What's the difference between virgin olive oil and extra virgin oil? Uglier olives? That's a question for Google. I don't quite remember the differences. I heard it's how they make them. I think that's what makes the difference. Okay, so the military is still getting paid. Okay, if they're getting paid, then I don't know, but I'm curious to see what the numbers look like after the National Guard leaves. Um, so, and I don't know if that's true, Lucifer, but it could be. I thought that the difference in the olive oil was how they were made. I have used olive oil before. I guess I use it all the time. I do not have any right now. Oh, Lucifer, okay. I I've used avocado oil, olive oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, sesame oil. I really don't like. I'm not one of those people who use the same thing for like 20 years. Like it's not that deep with any type of oil. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I'll use different ones to kind of change the flavor. I had an avocado oil and an olive oil. It was like a 50-50 blend. I really liked that one, and I would definitely buy it again. Now, olive oil does cost more, though. I will say that is what it seems like. But yeah, y'all, we made 30 minutes teriyaki beef and broccoli with rice. How these oils, avocado, it has a high smoke point. Yes, it was really, really good when I did have it. And I don't know if my phone is glitching or what, or I don't know if the Wi-Fi, I don't know what's going on, but it's like blinking slowly. You haven't tried avocado oil? You have to. It's actually really, really good. It's really good. It is more on the expensive side, but it's good. It's good. When I go to the grocery store, sometimes I'll just pick out stuff and I'm like, huh, I'm really gonna try this. I'm tired of getting the same stuff, so I just like buy new ingredients and I won't have anything to do with them. But that's like, for me, that is fun. I love going to the grocery store when I got some money. But when I was like in the States, y'all know I'm in Alaska, so when I say the States, I'm talking about the lower 48s. I liked going to the grocery store and seeing different products and getting different stuff or different ingredients. I thought it was fun, you know. But we're gonna go live tomorrow. We're gonna have turkey Swedish meatballs. I don't know if we're gonna do breakfast, but we are going live tomorrow. I'm gonna get up out of here because I don't know if my phone is glitching. I don't know. And before this live goes down, I'm gonna end it. I don't know because like the wind is blowing, so maybe the Wi-Fi going down. I'm not really too sure. But thank you guys so much for watching. The recipe is down below if you want to substitute it with a different meat instead of beef. Feel free to do so. That is the fun part about cooking, is being able to make it to how you like and being able to customize it. That's one of the fun things about cooking, in my opinion. I will see you guys in the next one. And shout out to Angela. We had a great episode this morning. I'm still trying to remember what we had for breakfast. I'm just gonna look on here with the cheat code. Oh, I remember. We had our fall breakfast special. Sweet potatoes, beef sausage, and 2 eggs over medium. Y'all, I was like, what did I eat? But then I remember. Okay, y'all. Good night, you guys. I will see you guys in the next one. Always a great conversation. Love y'all so much. Double tap the screen. Hit the like button. Ava's Christmas list, which is my daughter, is up there now. And it's going to be in the video description going forward. So, I will see you guys in the next one. And y'all already know what I say when I get up out of here. Foodie gang, gang, gang. Foodie gang, gang, gang. See y'all next one. Peace.